let's talk about where the Texans are in this division. Obviously, still changes to be made before the season, but can they three-peat in the AFC South? Is this their division to lose?
It's so disrespectful, but yes. I mean, yeah, it is. And I don't like doing that because I'm the thing that bothers me is like I'm supposed to be like this happy-go-lucky Texans person because if I cover the team. It's like, no, my job is to state the facts. Like
You're a realist.
I'm an Alabama grad, and people were like, "We got left out of the playoffs last year." It's like you lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. You have no room at this table for an argument. Please pipe down. You hate the Tide. It's like I'm just stating facts, and the facts are there's so many questions with every other team, and there's many questions with the Texans, but
hmm
the fewest amount of questions to win a division is with Houston. You have your franchise quarterback. You have a running back that you can trust. You have a legit wide receiver number one. You have arguably a top 10 defense, if not a top 5 defense that last year finished top 5 in sacks and finished top 5 in tackles for losses. You got better in the secondary with CJ Gardner-Johnson. You're going to be fully healthy with the Jalen Petrie. Your linebacking core is fully healthy. And then you go pivot to every other team, and it's Jacksonville. It's a brand new head coach, and Trevor stunk last year, and you paid him a buttload of money. Is he actually going to hit when you took away several of his weapons? And Brian Thomas Jr. is a really good wide receiver. Was it a flash in the pan freshman year, or is a sophomore slump on the horizon? What are we getting with that? What are we getting from the defensive players? Tennessee, you're probably drafting Cam Ward. Word of advice, I wouldn't. That's just my 2 cents. I wouldn't take him at number 1. I wouldn't take him in the top 10. I wouldn't take any quarterback in the top 10 this year. But if you're going to go to that big, he better be the answer. He better be dropped down in Nashville on Broadway, ready to take names and kick ass. Like, that's what you expect because you have one wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. You have an overpaid offensive line that Bill Callahan is hopefully going to be able to work with. You got some pieces on the defense that I think are really positive, like Jeffrey Simmons. I do like what you have in the secondary with Roger McCreary, but you still have a lot of things that you got to fix up on that side. And then Indianapolis, who's probably going to be the front runner for that number 2 spot. If Anthony Richardson can't beat out Daniel Jones, and that's not an insult to Daniel Jones, but if he can't beat out Daniel Jones, who was on a practice squad last year, this is the writing on the wall that the quarterback position is not meant for you. And I was very high on Richardson coming out of Florida. I thought he hasn't played in enough games, but when you get him in the right system, the way that Shane Steichen was able to work with Jalen Hurts, fix some of the mechanics, and turn him into a Super Bowl caliber, eventually Super Bowl winning quarterback, I could see the vision. They have some pieces there, but the offensive line took a massive hit this offseason. No more Ryan Kelly, no more Will Fries. They weren't able to regroup on that side of the ball. They have a question at the tight end position. The secondary took a massive blow this offseason, losing Julian Blackmon. They fired their defense coordinator, and they just brought in, who was it? It wasn't Matt Eberflus. It was some other head coach that just got fired.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me eventually. But Lou Aramora, that was it. He was the defense coordinator for Cincinnati.
Yep. Yeah. There it is.
Last season had the worst secondary in the NFL. Is it going to be any better now with a worse unit? And you have multiple needs. And really, right now, you don't know what direction you're going in. Is it going to be Tyler Warren out of Penn State at tight end? Is it Malachi Starks out of Georgia to help out with your secondary? Are you adding in another wide receiver like a Luther Burden and saying, hey, we want to just throw the football as much as humanly possible? Are you adding in more help on the offensive line? So I look at Houston. Their schedule is challenging. They do play all the first place teams. So you do have to go up against Buffalo. You do have to go up against Baltimore. You do have to go up against Kansas City. But you did draw the NFC West as your counterpoint. So the NFC West.
Good year to do that.
Because you don't know what you get in San Francisco. You don't know what you get in Los Angeles. You don't know what you get in Seattle and Arizona. So I think that 10 wins is probably going to get you the division. I think that the Texans, even with all the moves that they made, they're a 10-win team. But the problem is that you're going into year 3, and fans are kind of sick and tired of hearing, hey, 30 and 21 in 3 years is a really good number. 3-0 in the wild card weekend is a really good number. 0-3 in the divisional round. What's the point? What we know what we are, and it basically is clear because if we never get past that 10-7 marker, we're going to land pick number 25. We're going to trade away pick number 25 to go bring in a veteran to go get that draft compensation. The way that we did last year with Stephon Diggs, I still believe the Texans could trade out 25 to go land a premier player before the draft. And then we're going to be wash, rinse, repeat, and fans are going to get sick and tired of it.